cabinet with not just clowns, demented sewer clowns, like Stephen King book clowns. Trump spent the week placing perfect calls to pressure and threaten his fellow Republicans in the Senate, telling them to greenlight Matt Gaetz or else, despite reports Matt Gaetz paid multiple women for sex using Venmo, including a 17-year-old girl. The last time Trump made this many calls on behalf of an unqualified candidate was to get his son Eric into Georgetown. So this was special. And then Matt Gaetz went to Capitol Hill. Yesterday, he was on the Hill to drum up support himself, and he seemed optimistic.
It's my plan to stop the chemical, physical, and emotional mutilation of our youth. On day one, I will revoke Joe Biden's cruel policies on so-called gender-affirming care. Ridiculous. A process that includes giving kids puberty blockers, mutating their physical appearance, and ultimately performing surgery on minor children. Can you believe this? I will sign a new executive order instructing every federal agency to cease all programs that promote the concept of sex and gender transition at any age.
If you'll excuse me, I have a school bus to catch. So anyway, that was yesterday, which was, as he said, a great day of momentum. Today it was not.
I will then ask Congress to permanently stop federal taxpayer dollars from being used to promote or pay for these procedures and pass a law prohibiting child sexual mutilation in all 50 states. It'll go very quickly. I will declare that any hospital or healthcare provider that participates in the chemical or physical mutilation of minor youth will no longer meet federal health and safety standards for Medicaid and Medicare and will be terminated from the program immediately.
Finally, some news we can use. It's what a fun country this is.
Let's just focus now. U.S. President-elect Donald Trump has been making waves with his electoral promises on immigration, inflation, and a host of other issues. In about 7 weeks from now, Trump will assume office. But with each passing week, new reports emerge on the potential actions he may take. For U.S. media report is to be believed, Donald Trump is preparing to sign an executive order as America's 47th president, removing transgender soldiers from the military. The new order is reportedly more controversial than the directive Trump passed in his first time. In 2021, U.S. President Joe Biden issued an executive order to overturn this ban. In his first week in office, the new policy was approved and implemented in June of 2021. When Trump was last in office, he signed an order banning transgender individuals from serving in the military. However, active personnel were allowed to continue their service.
Good evening, folks. Tonight we have the honor of being joined by the President of the United States, the one and only Donald J. Trump. That's right, he's back, and this time he's running the White House like it's a reality show called America's Got No Talent. Welcome, Mr. President.
Thank you, Jimmy. It's great to be here, but you're wrong about one thing. America's got talent, tremendous talent. And it's my job to protect our children from the radical left's dangerous agenda. No more transgender surgeries for minors, period.
Ah, yes. Protecting children, Don. Bold words from the guy who put kids in cages, and now you're banning surgeries. What's next? Are you going to ban kids from wearing mismatched socks because it threatens the sanctity of ankles?
Jimmy, this isn't a joke. We need to draw the line somewhere. Boys are boys, girls are girls. It's simple. But the Democrats, especially Kamala Harris and Tim Walz, want to confuse our kids. It's a civil rights violation.
A civil rights violation? Don, the only violation here is you trying to lecture us on rights. You've got about as much expertise on civil rights as a pineapple does on astrophysics. And Kamala and Walz, really, what did Tim Walz do? Steal your fries at a McDonald's?
Jimmy, this is serious business. We have teachers pushing alternate gender identities on kids. It's dangerous. I warn them, stick to math and science, not this woke nonsense.
Stick to math and science? Don, you couldn't pass a fifth grade math quiz if the answers were written on the back of your hand. And speaking of woke nonsense, isn't that what you call any idea that doesn't come with your name stamped on it in gold?
Jimmy, you don't get it. I'm the only one standing up for America. Kamala Harris is out there turning our schools into social experiments. Tim Walz, he's like her sidekick Robin to her woke Batman.
Woke Batman? Don, if anyone's dressing up as a superhero, it's you in a cape that says stable genius, and let's be real, you're not standing up for America. You're just standing and yelling and occasionally throwing ketchup at the wall.
Fake news, Jimmy, fake news. I love America and America loves me. That's why Elon Musk supports me. He knows I'm right. Together, we're saving the country from the radical left.
Ah, Yes, Elon Musk, your billionaire bromance buddy. Let me guess, Don. Elon promised to put your face on Mars and rename it Trumplandia. And honestly, that's the only way we'd ever vote you off this planet.
Wrong again, Jimmy. Elon supports me because he knows I'm making America great again. Teachers, they're scared. They should be. Civil rights violations, Jimmy, they're happening in our schools.
Civil rights violations? Don, the last time you cared about rights was when someone cut in front of you at the Mar-a-Lago buffet. And these teachers you're warning, they're just trying to help kids be themselves. Meanwhile, you're over here trying to outlaw rainbows and unicorns.
Jimmy, I'm protecting kids from the radical agenda. And don't get me started on Kamala Harris. She's behind all of this. She's the one pulling the strings.
Pulling the strings? Don, Kamala's busy working, not building puppets in her basement. If anyone's pulling strings, it's you on your latest conspiracy theory marionette. What's next? Blaming Obama for inventing pronouns.
Obama's involved, Jimmy. You know it. Everyone knows it. He started this whole mess. And now Kamala and Tim Walz are running with it. They're ruining our country.
Obama started it? Sure, Don. And while we're at it, let's blame him for the dinosaurs going extinct, the Titanic sinking, and your golf game being terrible. Seriously, Don, every time you open your mouth, it's like watching a History Channel special called The Blame Game.
That's not fair, Jimmy. I'm doing what's right. People love me for it. You'll see in the next election we're going to win big, huge. Kamala can't stop us, and neither can you.
Win big? Don, your idea of a win is finishing a cheeseburger without dropping ketchup on your tie. And as for Kamala stopping you, she doesn't need to. You're doing a great job stopping yourself. Thanks, Don. You've given us all the comedy material we'll ever need. Tonight, we continue our debate with President Donald J. Trump, who's here to explain why his new policy ideas sound like they were brainstormed during a particularly bad golf game. Don, welcome back.
Thank you, Jimmy. It's an honor to be here with you, someone who, let's face it, would be nothing without me. You should thank me for your ratings.
Ratings? Don, my ratings do fine without you, but I admit, you do make great material. You're like a comedy writer's dream if that dream also involved nightmares of a talking Cheeto with Wi-Fi access.
Insults, Jimmy. That's all you've got. I'm here to talk about protecting kids, transgender surgeries for minors. Totally unnecessary. It's harmful, and it's got to stop. Parents are thanking me, Jimmy. They're saying, thank you, Mr. President, for saving our children.
Are these the same parents who called you about fixing their dishwashers during your last rally? Don, no one's thanking you. In fact, they're probably wondering why you're so obsessed with what's in everyone's pants when you can't even keep your own skeletons in the closet.
That's fake news, Jimmy. People love me. I get letters, big letters, beautiful letters saying, thank you, Mr. Trump, for being so brave. You wouldn't understand bravery, Jimmy. You're just another Hollywood liberal.
Bravery. Don, you hid in a bunker because some protesters held up cardboard signs. If bravery were a sport, you'd be sitting on the bench with a Diet Coke asking the coach when snack time starts.
Wrong again, Jimmy. I'm protecting the country from radical left ideas. Teachers are brainwashing kids. They're telling boys they can be girls, girls they can be boys. It's insanity, and I'm the only one stopping it.
Brainwashing? Don, if anyone's an expert on that, it's you. You've got half the country thinking you're the second coming of Lincoln, when the only thing you have in common is the top hat you tried on once in a costume shop.
Jimmy, you're just jealous because I'm doing what's right. Kamala Harris and Tim Walz are out there pushing this agenda. Kamala's probably writing pronoun flashcards right now.
Pronoun flashcards? Don, you barely pass person, woman, man, camera, TV. If Kamala's writing flashcards, maybe she can send you a few to study. And Tim Walz, what did he do? Steal your fries again? You've got more enemies than Monopoly's free parking rule.
Jimmy, this isn't a joke. I'm making America great again, protecting our values. Elon Musk supports me too. He knows I'm right. We're bringing common sense back to this country.
Elon Musk supports you. That makes sense. One guy who wants to colonize Mars teaming up with another guy who can't even manage to colonize a salad bar. Let me guess, Don Elon promised you a golden Tesla and a Twitter-like button for your speeches.
Elon supports me because I stand for freedom, Jimmy. Unlike you, Kamala, or Obama. Don't get me started on Obama. He started this mess.
Ah, yes, Obama, the eternal scapegoat for all things Trump. Rain on your golf day, blame Obama. Missed your spray tan appointment, definitely Obama's fault. Don, if you spent half as much time fixing problems as you do blaming them on Obama, we'd be living on the moon by now.
You're nasty, Jimmy, very nasty, but it doesn't